Hello, congratulations on your recent purchase. As I was saying, congratulations. Welcome to the Borealis family. We're stoked, you're stoked, it's about to be a good time. Before ripping trails and finding that ignorant bliss that can only be acquired from riding your bike, you have to assemble your bike. But don't worry, this video, alongside the amazing team here at Borealis, have made this process as easy and as stress-free as possible, to the point where typing in your credit card number is actually harder. So many numbers. This whole video was made using the Borealis multi-tool, which has every tool required in this process. Begin by pulling your bike out of the box and cutting away all packing materials. Any cardboard can be recycled, but all zip ties and foam should be thrown away. Also, it will be a million times easier with a bike stand, but if you don't have one, you'll survive. Inspect your bike to make sure there are no obvious scratches or buffs. If you find any, contact Borealis Warranty. Open the fork box, which has two smaller bubble wrap bundles as well as the fork. The first bundle has the chain and master link. The second bundle has the top cap, dust cap, compression ring, lower headset bearing, upper headset bearing, and two spacers. Life hack, you can put all the pieces on your finger in order to make assembly easier. First the spacers, dust cap, compression ring, upper bearing, and finally the lower bearing. Put the lower bearing, the big one, on the fork, bevel side facing up. Insert the fork into the frame, then place the upper bearing, slightly smaller one, on top with a beveled side facing down. Then the compression ring, dust cap, spacers, handlebars, and finally the top cap, which can be tightened hand tight for now. The spacers can go either above or below the handlebars depending on personal preference. The rear derailleur has a locking mechanism which will keep it open. Tighten the screw protruding from the back into the frame. Make sure the derailleur hanger sits above the small bevel on the frame. Remove the grips, then slide the shifter followed by the brake lever on the right side of the handlebars. Make sure the handlebars turn freely. Slide the front brake lever onto the left side, again ensuring the bars turn freely. Slide the grips back on and tighten. Use a star bit to tighten the shifter and then an Allen wrench to tighten the brake lever. Just do not over tighten. Carbon can shatter if over tightened. All torque Newton meter specs are in the description below. Tighten the top first so that there is no gap on the top and a small gap on the bottom. Repeat on the other side. Unbox the wheels. For tubeless setup, refer to our other videos. Loosen both bolts on the brake caliper. Insert the wheel with the rotor seated nicely in the brake caliper. Insert the axle and tighten so that the lever sits parallel with the fork. It should be snug, but doesn't need to be terribly tight. Pump the brakes, then squeeze, and while doing so, retighten the bolts. This brake adjustment process shouldn't be needed as the brakes are already tuned, but it's shown here just in case there's rubbing and needs readjustment. The wheel should spin freely. If the fork was put on backwards, spin it around so the Borealis reads properly. Then, while holding the fork, tighten the headset until all play or looseness is gone. This is easier and should be done on the ground. Remove the rear axle, pull the derailleur back, and insert the wheel. Tighten the axle so that the lever is parallel to the ground. Repeat brake caliper and rotor alignment as previously shown. Drape the chain over the front chain ring and route it through the rear derailleur. Use the master link to connect both sides, pulling it tightly so it doesn't come undone. Undo the derailleur lock and then rotate the chain and follow the master link to the top. Hold the tire and press firmly on the crank until the master link locks, sounding like this. Ensure the derailleur shifts smoothly through all gears. The derailleur is already tuned, so it shouldn't need adjustment. If it's not shifting smoothly, check out our other videos on how to fix this. Line up the handlebars to be straight with the fork, then tighten the two bolts on the stem. The saddle can be adjusted with two bolts on the underside. Loosen both, ensure the saddle is parallel with the top of the stem, then retighten. Pedals can be tricky. Please observe that there are a right and left pedal. Put the pedal washers on the threads, and then use an Allen wrench to tighten. As long as you rotate towards the front of the bike, the pedals will tighten. Pump up your tires. Pressures for different terrain are in the description below. Roll it outside and go ride your brand new Borealis Fat Bike. The only appropriate time to use the head exploding emoji is at this very moment. Enjoy!